Hi, welcome. Mike McMillan here, and today I want to talk for a little bit about Amazon S3 accounts. Okay, maybe you know what one is, you just want to know how to use it, or if you don't know anything about it, you will in just a minute, okay? Now I'm making this video specifically to help people that maybe watched a video I just posted up recently about how to get more views, grow your channel, things like that on YouTube. And I mentioned that Amazon S3 account would be helpful, especially for people that make nonfiction or make instructional type videos. And in there, I said that having an S3 account could be very useful to you to do that. Not so much for entertainment like crazy cat videos and things like that, but if you have an instructional type video channel where you show people how to do things, this could be very useful to you, and I'll show you exactly how in just a second. And if you're not a YouTuber, you'll learn some things that you could use S3 for outside of YouTube as well. Okay, so to begin with, S3, what they call Amazon's S3 platform, is part of a much bigger platform called AWS, and that stands for Amazon Web Services. Maybe you've seen AWS mentioned. That's Amazon Web Services. It's a huge cloud-based platform that provides all kinds of services to huge businesses, medium-sized businesses, and individuals like you and I. And I use my S3 account almost every day. So to begin with, S3 stands for Simple Storage Solutions. That's what it stands for. Simple Storage Solutions. That's exactly what it is. It lets you store files online and do things with those files. Okay, so basically you can store anything you'd like to in an Amazon S3 account. You could store videos in there, you could store PDF files like ebooks, any kind of text file, any kind of thing like that. You can store applications. A lot of businesses run their entire, even huge websites through the AWS platform. We can't cover all that today. We're just talking about S3, the S3 part of that platform. Okay, so what can you use an Amazon S3 account for? Well, basically we're going to talk about two things. One is storing files, any kind of file, but I'll show you specifically the kind of files that would be helpful to YouTubers, and especially people that make how-to type videos. So it can be used to store files. It can also be used to make files accessible to other people anywhere around the world. Okay, and I'll show you why that could be useful too. Even if you're not a YouTuber, there are things you can do with an S3 account that I do myself, and it could be very useful. So what I'd like to do is let's get into this, and let's get started right now. I'm in Firefox right here, okay? And so what I'm going to do is just come in to Google, and I'll type in Amazon S3, hit return. The very first thing that comes up, it's an ad right here, and it says that you can Amazon S3 AWS, again, that's Amazon Web Services. S3 is part of AWS. Okay, so you can click on that link, and when you click on the link, you'll come to this page right here, and it says AWS free tier. Okay, that's what we want. And it says create a free account. Okay, so it couldn't be much easier than that. And once you do that and you click on that, you'll come to this page right here, and it says sign up for AWS. Again, you're creating an AWS Amazon Web Services account, but inside that account, what you're going to use is the S3 platform. Okay, so basically all you have to do is put in whatever email address you'd like to use and create a password, confirm your password, and then you have to come up with an account name, okay? And it has to be a name nobody else is using, but it's easy to do. I mean, my account name's kind of a stupid thing that only means something to me, but nobody's ever going to see that, so don't worry, just make up a name. And if somebody's already got that name, you'll get a message and say create a different name or something. Okay, it says continue, and it says step 1 of 5. Okay, so what's going to happen when you click on continue is you'll come to this page, and this is step one right here. They're going to ask you for a phone number, ask you where you live, your address, so on and so forth. And it says continue, and when you click on the continue, you'll go to step 2. Okay, and on step 2, once you click on that, this is what you'll see. So it says sign up for an AWS account. Now remember, I said this is free, so don't panic. You say, oh Mike, I got to give them a credit card, info. You do, and one reason that they ask you for that is to verify your identity so that they know you are who you say you are. And the other thing, I could be wrong because it's been a while, but I believe, and you'll find out when you do this, they'll tell you, I believe that they take out just like $1 or so. Maybe it's $3, but maybe it's just $1 or $2. When you set this up, I think they take out just like $1 or $2, just to make sure the credit card is good and it's valid. And then I think they put that credit your account back with that after a day or two, something like that. So don't panic about this. It's not going to cost you anything, is what I'm saying. So, okay. So you put in a credit card info, your expiration date, all that, and then it says verify and continue to step 3 of 4. So what's going to happen then when you click on that link, you'll come in here and it says confirm your identity. So basically, you can get a voice call, like an automated AI voice call thing, or just do text message, and you can put in your phone number down there, and they'll send you, I think it's a 4-digit code. I can't remember what it is, honestly, but they send you a code, and if it's like 3712, whatever it is, you need to write that down and keep that. And then as a security check, you've got to do one of these goofy things where you read the code in there, and once you do that, you can come down and then it says type the characters as shown, and you just type those in. If you can't read them, you can hit that reload button right there and it'll give you a different one, but you just type that in so they know you're not some kind of bot or something that's scamming them. So then it says send a SMS, that's your text message, for step 4, and you can go to step 4 of 5. Okay, and once you do that, put that info in there, then you'll come to this page and it says confirm your identity. So the code they sent you as a text message, all you have to do is put that in there, and I think maybe it's a 6-digit code they give you, but you just put that in there and it says continue to step 4 of 5. So when you get to this point and you put your code in, then you can click on continue, and you'll come to this page and it says sign up for AWS. You've actually already signed up, but it says select a support plan. Now the basic support is free, okay, and that's what you want. Don't click these other things because all they're doing is giving you more support, and you're probably never going to use that. So those cost you, and that's why they wanted your credit card info so they could bill you if you pick one of these. But don't do that. Just keep it on the default plan right here, and that's completely free. Okay, and then once you do that, it says complete the sign up, and you can click on that. And once you click on that, you'll come in and you get this cool message. It says congratulations, thank you for signing up with AWS. And down here it says go to the AWS Management Console. That's sort of like your home page in there. It's where you can do cool things. Okay, so you can click on that. Down below you'll see, if you want to, I don't think you need to do this, but if you want to, you can input that, tell them what you do. I don't think that's necessary, but you can click on submit if you put that stuff in there, and then that's what I put in this account that I'm setting up a new account. I've got an account with like 30 buckets and tons of stuff in there. So yeah, and if you put that info, you can click on submit, and you'll be all set. Congratulations, thank you for signing up. And it says you can go to the Management Console. Again, that's like your home page, and you can click on that, and once you do, you'll come in. It says root user. That's you're the root user, the main user. And so it will have your email address that you've used, and you just type your password in, and then you can go to sign in. And once you click on that sign in button, you're right here. And the page you'll come to looks like this. It says AWS Management Console. Okay. And what you want to do, I was just at this page a few minutes ago, and it remembers the pages that you've accessed in the past. So after you've been in here one time, you could just click on this S3. That's where you want to go to, your S3 account. Otherwise, you have to come up and click on Services. And when you click on Services up here, what you'll do is come in here, and it'll look just like this. And again, what you need to look for is under Storage, where it says S3, and click on this S3 link. That'll take you to where you want to go. Okay, so when you do that, here's the page that comes up, and this is called your account snapshot. And this is where you'll start out every time you get into your S3 account. So basically, you can see right here, and I think I mentioned this earlier, everything in Amazon S3 has to be put in what they call a bucket. It's kind of like a file folder. It's just a place you can keep things. You have as many buckets as you want. I've got 30 or 40 different buckets in my account. You're only going to need one to do the things that I'm going to show you. So basically, you can see right here, I have no buckets set up, and no files in there or anything. So what I'll do is come down here and click on Create Bucket right here. And you need to, this is where we can create a bucket. Remember, a bucket's just like a file folder on your computer, but Amazon calls them buckets. Okay, so don't lose any sleep over that. But right here, for a bucket name, it says the name must be unique, and it can't contain spaces or uppercase letters. Okay, and by unique, it means if you try to create a bucket and give it a name that somebody else on Amazon is already using, you'll get an error message, and they'll say you've got to make a change or something. It's got to be unique. I've never had a problem with that. But so I'm going to come in. I'm going to call this YT. I'm going to make it start with YT for YouTube, just to remind me later on this is where I'm keeping stuff that I use for YouTube. Okay, and I'll call it Mike. Let's call it Sample Bucket. You don't have to use the name Bucket in it. I'm just going to do that. So Mike Sample Bucket. Okay, and then you have to choose an area. Amazon's got servers all over the place. I use this one that says U.S. East, North Virginia. I don't really live on the East Coast, but I live kind of close. So, okay. And then don't worry about this. We can't do anything with that. And then this is important right here. Now, what does this mean? With this checked, block all public access. Okay. Let's suppose you've got a website. You've got your own merchant account set up, you're collecting credit card info, maybe banking info, names, addresses, emails, stuff like that. You want to block all public access to anything in your account that has anything to do with your customers' financial information. If you've got stuff from your own banking info, credit card info, you want to leave this checked, okay? Because you don't want anybody else in the world to be able to read what's in there, to upload things, download things, to have any access to anything. Okay, so you would leave this checked. Now today, with what the sample, I'm going to show you the examples, I'm going to uncheck this. But again, if you've got private info you don't want anybody in the world to be able to see or do anything with, you would leave this checked. I'm going to uncheck it though, and I'll show you why in just a minute. It's not going to be a problem for us. But if you turn that off, they want you to check this and acknowledge that some of this stuff in your bucket, some or all of it, might be made public where people could get in and get to it. And I'm going to check this. Again, don't lose sleep over this. I'll show you why in just a second. You don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. I'm going to click on Create Bucket. Okay? Successfully created bucket called YT Mike's Sample Bucket. Now, this shows that I have one bucket right there. And it says objects can be public. I just mentioned that. Don't lose sleep over that again. Okay? But I'm going to come in and click on my bucket. Okay? And what this shows is object 0. I haven't uploaded anything to my bucket yet. Now, I'm going to upload something in just a second to show you how that works. But this just shows that there's nothing in it. Okay? So what I have here, I have this checklist. It's a little PDF file, 1 page, just like this. I give this away on some of my YouTube videos. I'll show you why in a second. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is click on this upload button right here. Okay, and there's 2 things. I could put the file name if I know the file name on my computer and let Amazon search for it. But the easiest way is just take your file. It says drag and drop right there. Okay, and it's got some info there, but make sure you have to click on upload or it won't upload it. So I'll upload that. Takes just a second. Okay, and here it is. It says 1 file. It's only a 30K file. It's very small. Okay.
I'll click on the file that I just uploaded.
Okay, and here's my checklist right there. So I've put it in my bucket. Now I'm going to click on this file that I just uploaded. Let me move this back over. Okay. This just shows you all of the info that you've just put in there. Okay. And if I come up here, you can see right here, it says object URL. If I wanted to copy this, you could highlight it, but see this double square thing? If you click on that, it'll copy this, and you might want to copy it and save it. Now we're in here, and what I want to do is click on permissions right here. Okay? ACL means access control list. Who can do what? Okay? And right now, I want to set some permissions in here. And I'm going to come over here to where it says edit. And this part is extremely important. So I'm going to come in here. And notice the grantee. That's me. I am the grantee. I am the grantee. Okay. I can read what's in my bucket. I can read that file that I put in there. I can, read it. That means I can download it, actually. I can write to it. I can change anything inside of this bucket or this object. But notice down here that the way it's set up right now is it says that public people, you or anybody out there, cannot read this. They can't write it. Can't do anything to it. But I'm going to check this box right here. And this red thing comes up. And it says, if you grant public access, then everybody or authenticated users and anybody in the world can access this object. Okay? And I understand that. Okay? Don't add anything else. Here's the object that we're talking about. And I'm granting everyone in the world the ability to read that file so they can download it. They can get it on their computer if they want. And I'll show you why I'm going to set it up this way. Do not check this box over here. Do not check either of these boxes. I would just check this so that other people can access that file. And I'll show you why in just a second. Okay? Make sure that you scroll down, because if you don't click change, save changes, it won't change that. Okay, so now again you can see here's the URL. If you click on that, it copies it. Like I said, you might want to do that. You don't have to worry about anything else that's in here. Okay, you've done everything you need to do. All right, and under permissions, again, anybody in the world can now read this or download that file. And you think, oh, that's kind of scary. It's not scary, and I'll show you why in just a second. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Now let me show you what happens and what we can do with the file that we just uploaded to our Amazon account. And remember, I clicked on that link to copy that to my clipboard, so I've got that saved. So let me log out and let me show you what you can do with that. Okay? Okay, well, let's take a look at a couple things you could do with an Amazon S3 account. Okay? First, if you have a website or a blog, then you have a web hosting account and a domain name. And you could just upload the files I show you to your public HTML folder. If you've got a website or a blog, you know what I mean. I'm not going to go through that. But you technically wouldn't need an S3 account to do this, although you could use one to do this. But many YouTubers don't have a domain name and a web hosting account, so they could use an S3 account to do what I'll show you. Okay, this technique works best for instructional or informational type videos. Okay, not so much for crazy cat videos or music videos or sports videos, things like that. But if you're teaching people how to do something, this can work really well. Okay, so what I did is, in this case, I made a checklist, and it looks like this: how to get more YouTube views with these 10 tips. Okay, put my name on it, and I just have 10 tips here that can help people get more views on their YouTube videos. Okay, so why did I do that? Well, let me show you something. When I go through this, right here, let's just scroll through this a little bit. There's my 10 tips right there. And then the key is that right below that, on a second page, what I do is right here, I do two things on the second page. And one thing I do is say, hey, thanks for watching my video, and here's the checklist, and I put a link to my channel there. You don't have to put your picture in there, you can if you want, but there's a link to my channel. So somebody that downloads this now has a link to my channel, bang, right in front of them. And if they click on that and go to my channel, they'll see a whole bunch of my videos, and there's a good chance they might click on 1 or 2, maybe 5 or 10. But that would get me more views by doing this, okay? So then there's a little bit more to this than that, because if they scroll down even farther, down here, what they see is I have 8 of my videos listed here, and all I did was take the thumbnail image that I used on those videos, and I put the title next to it, and I put a link to the video on YouTube. So if somebody sees this and say, hey, this looks really good, I'd like to watch that, or this looks really good, I'd like to watch that, I've got videos that are very good and interesting to these people that they can click on right here and go to watch the video. Again, I've taken somebody that watched one of my videos, and now I've given them the opportunity to watch many more of my videos to get me more views, more subscribers, more comments and likes and things. So this can work really, really well. Now, how do you make that work? Well, what I did is right here. I made this graphic. You could make something like this using Photoshop, using GIMP, whatever. You could use most video editing software would let you create it in there. But I just made this graphic. And about 1 minute into this video, this particular video about getting more views, I popped this graphic in there when I edited it. And it's just me holding up the checklist, and here's a direct link, 10 tips to get more views on your YouTube videos. And it says the checklist is in the description below this video. So, well, what happens? If they decide they want the checklist, they can go in and read the description below the video, and it says here's a direct download link. Now, this is not going to go to an opt-in page or something like that. This is a direct download link. Okay, if they click on this link, it will download. My checklist downloads automatically. No funny business, no nothing else. They get it. Now, where did I get this link? Remember when I set up that bucket and showed you how to set up a bucket and how to upload files to it? And I showed you how you could get the URL for any file that you upload into a bucket. And I simply copied that URL, that link, in my Amazon Web Services, my S3 account. I simply copied the link to that checklist and I pasted it in here. Okay? And then you can put more description or whatever you want, in your description below your video. Okay, that's a cool method. It works, and you could try that. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Do you have a website, a web page, a page to sell something, an opt-in page, whatever, any kind of web page online? Well, here's another possible use for an S3 account. Okay, so let me just show you something. This is fairly simple. It's a one-page web page, and I've got a header graphic at the top where it says my girlfriend thinks I'm crazy, which she probably does. That's actually a graphic that I made. It's not text that I put in there. And let me just show you something. If I, on my Mac, if I hit Command U, it brings up the source code for that web page, and you can see in here there's some, there's some header info, there's some CSS files I've got in there, there's some JavaScript or something down there, and basically I'll scroll down. Let me just show you something right here. basically, let me move this over a little bit. And these are the two images at the top of the page. And if you're familiar with HTML code, if you build your own web pages, this would look familiar to you, except, look at, I did not load these images into my web hosting account, into my public HTML folder. I loaded the images into my Amazon S3 account in a bucket, and here they are right here. This is the top graphic, this is the next graphic, and so I loaded them into my Amazon account rather. So when somebody tries to open this web page, the images are not loading from my web hosting account. They're loading from an Amazon bucket that I've set up for this. Okay, that first one that says header master PNG, that is this image right here. Okay, this second image right here, that's that image. That's an image, not a piece of text that I put in there. And so I guess the question is, why would you store your website images in an S3 account rather than in your hosting account? And there are a couple things that come to mind. One is very high security. I don't have to worry about losing my images or, having them disappear for one reason or another. It's very, very high security, anything you do on Amazon. And the second thing is low latency, and latency refers to how long it takes the image to load. And on Amazon, things in an Amazon bucket that you put on a website like this, they will load exceedingly fast. And typically you want a web page to load in a second, certainly under 2 seconds. More than that, people will click off. They're not going to wait for images to load. So there's a very high security and a very low latency. It's not the HTML code, the CSS code, JavaScript, anything like that you've got in that takes time for a web page to load. Typically, the most time is loading the images, and the images will load very fast from an Amazon S3 account. Okay, so just a thought. You might want to give that a try. So my very best wishes for tremendous success with all you do on YouTube or anywhere else online. You guys are all great. Thank you, and take care.